Well, clearing rioters out of a public place was considered an atrocity by the fake news that Trump engineered for a photo op. Now we know, courtesy of the United States Department of Interior, that was all a lie. They put out a very interesting report. But for Donald Trump and those who wanted them reelected, the damage probably has already been done. Dick Morris joins us, host of Dick Morris Democracy, right here on Newsmax, and also Kelly Hyman, Democratic strategist and attorney. Welcome to you both. Dick, I remember this so well. We all do. And it was 1,000% wrong, it seems now.
Yeah, completely. And it's one of those whoops, sorry. First whoops, sorry was the charge of Russian collusion. The next one was that he had pressured Ukraine to dig up dirt on Biden, and it turned out everything he pressured them to dig up happened and was revealed that Biden did it. Then there was the January 6th riot, where allegedly a police officer was killed by the mob, and in fact he died of natural causes. And then of course the big one, the Wuhan lab, where they said he was kind of crazy in conspiracy theory and flipping out. And in fact, it turns out that he was completely accurate, that this was a leak by the lab. Whether it was deliberate or not, we don't know yet. And what we're seeing here is the news media fabricating stories, piling on fictitious information, disinformation in modern lingo, and then we're sorry, but the election's over.
Yeah, and we're left with the results, and everybody can see, even folks on the left, I believe, the complete unfairness, the difference in tone when it comes to Joe Biden. Certainly not the same level of scrutiny and skepticism. Kelly Hyman, your thoughts, please.
Well, we have to take the report in context, and we have to remember that they were looking specifically at the Park Police. There were other police there and other administrations there as well. So it did exonerate the other police that were there, the DC police that they say in the report used tear gas, or also using other police using bullets on the people. So I disagree. Yes, it did say that the Park Police exonerated them, but not the other people that were there.
Well, the thing is, the Park Police reports to the federal government, is part of the federal government. The D.C. Police, I believe, reports to Mayor Bowser, and that's an entirely different issue. And you know how it was portrayed, that this was Donald Trump personally pulling the strings because he wanted that moment in front of the church with the Bible, which now we know is, everything they said about this guy was a lie. And even, you know what, Dick, if you don't mind, that general who apologized profusely for making the walk across the street. Remember that, General Milley? That's when I really think that the deep state, that he was kind of somehow in line with the deep state, that there was something much deeper and more sinister here.
Well, the background of that event is interesting. I spoke to the president about 5 times that day, and my wife Eileen did as well. He had just delivered a speech at NASA that was a glorious, wonderful speech, where he spoke about healing America. He spoke feelingly about what had happened to George Floyd, and he spoke about the need for reform, no chokeholds, and a whole lot of stuff like that. And it was at NASA's ceremony, and the media completely ignored it, never mentioned a word about the speech. So I said, well, at this event that's coming up, go into the Rose Garden and repeat what you said at the NASA speech. Oddly enough, Pence was in the room, and Trump said, Mike Pence here is agreeing with you. And then he went to the Rose Garden and did the same thing, another brilliant performance. And then decided on the spur of the moment that he would walk across the park to this church. Obviously, the church had been vandalized by these crazy demonstrators, and he wanted to talk about this historic church being vandalized. And there were demonstrators in the way, and the police cleared them more violently, perhaps, than they needed to. But that's not the lookout of the President of the United States. What was uncovered and unmentioned in the entire story was that twice he went way out of his way to talk feelingly and movingly about the need to reunite America and to make sure that police conduct is reformed. Never covered.
Yeah, I don't remember that, actually, and I like to think that I have a pretty good memory. So, Kelly, how do you think history is going to look back at this time? Do you think it's going to vindicate journalists and journalism? Because, quite frankly, across the board, I think they're doing an abysmal job.
Well, I'm a strong advocate for the First Amendment. And I believe that the First Amendment is really important, the freedom of speech and freedom of the press. And so we have different views on different policies, different politics, but I think it's important for each one of these views to be discussed and people to talk about the different views. And I do believe in journalism, and I do believe that different voices make a difference.
Well, look, I believe in journalism too. I believe in freedom of speech, but they're getting it wrong. And they had an agenda, it seems to me, and there's no accountability. No accountability. But to be continued, Kelly, I appreciate it so much. You dropping by. Sorry we're short on time. Kelly Hyman, Democratic strategist and attorney. Talk to you again. And of course, Dick Morris, host of Dick Morris Democracy. Check out dickmorris.com. Be sure to register for that brilliant newsletter and all the other goodies he's got there. We'll be right back.